I went from living in this rusty metal shack to being able to afford the most lavish vacations to owning multiple designer bags that cost more than my first car. And here is how I was able to do it. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be around money mindset and how to manifest more money and more abundance into your life. Now, before anyone says anything, I am a licensed financial advisor and have been for several years. I have my Series 7, I have my Series 66, I have my insurance licenses, and before I was a financial advisor, I was a personal banker for several years. So I fully get how the practical side of money works. I fully understand how investments work. I fully understand how budgeting works. I get how the practical side of money works. That is not what I am here to talk to you about today. This is not going to be a video on what stocks to choose, how to invest your money, how to budget. This is not about the practical side of money. This is about your money mindset and the relationship that you may have with money, which could be holding you back from bringing in more money. These are the techniques that I use that took me from being a homeless teenager to a successful entrepreneur. And this advice works whether you have a typical 9 to 5, whether you own a business, whether you're a stay-at-home wife, whether you are a stay-at-home mom. This is about shifting the way you view money and shifting your relationship with money and manifesting a more abundant lifestyle. So the first piece of advice I have for you is take a look at what your current money beliefs are and are they really serving you? For example, if you grew up hearing all your life, money doesn't grow on trees, money is hard to come by, money is scarce, you have to work really hard for money, you've got to put in that overtime, and rich people are just lucky, they're only born that way, or it's wrong to have too much money, wealthy people are selfish. If you grew up hearing those things like most of us did, it may have followed you into your adult life like it did for me. And now our job is to take a look at those beliefs and rewire the ones that are not helpful. So regardless of your current money circumstance, it's still a good thing to take a look at those beliefs and pick out which ones need to be addressed first. So for me, my two biggest, I grew up hearing my mom say that wealthy people were selfish and having too much money was wrong. And I also grew up hearing her talk about how money doesn't grow on trees. It's hard to come by. You have to work really hard and hustle really hard and budget as tightly as you can. And for me, that's not helpful. That is not the life I want to create for myself. So let's take a look at those things. Are those things ultimately true? So number one, being wealthy is wrong. Wealthy people are selfish and wrong. No, because there's lots of poor people who are selfish and do bad things with money. There's lots of rich people who are selfish and do bad things with money. There are lots of poor people who do good things with money and are very generous. And there's also lots of wealthy people who do good things with money and are also generous. The money is not the issue here. The amount of money is not the issue here. It's the person behind the money. Money is neutral. Money is a tool. Money is a tool like any other tool. You can take a garden shovel and use it to dig a hole and plant a garden to grow fresh fruits and vegetables for your family, or you can also take that same shovel and hit someone over the head with it. It's not the shovel's fault. So money is not good or bad, it just is. But I will say the more money you have, the more freedom and options you have. Having more money automatically means you can afford to live in nicer neighborhoods, send your kids to nicer schools, donate more money to your favorite charities. You can afford healthier food. You can buy higher quality clothing. You can go on better vacations. You can do the things you want to do and have the things you want to have because you have the resource necessary. That second money myth that I grew up with about how money is really scarce, money is really hard to earn, it doesn't grow on trees, you have to work really, really hard. Well, that's not true, because if money was a direct correlation to how hard you worked and how much you worked, that would mean that all of the millionaires and billionaires in the world were the ones working the hardest, longest hours, and we all know that's not true. Yes, it is true that you can make money by working really hard hours, going over time, and just really burning yourself out. It's true, you can make money that way. But it is also true that you can make money by working 40 hours or less a week. It is also true that you can earn money by doing the things you love. You can monetize your passions. And it's also true that money doesn't necessarily have to come from a job either. Trust me when I say I, more than anyone, receive money in the most unexpected ways consistently. Like, I get unexpected checks in the mail monthly. Who even gets checks anymore? I don't know, but I'm constantly getting like refund checks, or some company I used was part of a lawsuit and this was like my payout. Or sometimes it doesn't even come in the form of money itself. It will be like a complimentary dinner or a complimentary event, or a neighbor will have tickets to something and just gift them to me. So those are two beliefs that I really had to take a look at and ask myself, why are these not ultimately true? And what is a different truth I can believe instead? Now, the second tip that I have for you, and probably the one that's the most fun, is to put yourself in, get into an abundant energy. You cannot manifest true abundance from a place of scarcity or lack. Now, I'm going to give you plenty of examples of ways you can do this to meet yourself where you are at, because I understand if you're someone who's like, yeah, well, given my current circumstances, I'm not feeling very abundant right now, whether it's because you're in debt, or maybe you don't even have your own place to live and you're staying with somebody else, or whatever the case is. There are still things that you can do to put you in a state of abundance, to give you the feeling of being abundant, of being wealthy. Tapping into that feeling of what would it feel like if I was already a wealthy person, that is one of the strongest, most effective things that you can do to shift your money mindset and to shift your energy into attracting more things that are correlated with abundance and wealth. So what are some easy things you can do every day, today included, starting today? What are some easy things you can do to get yourself into this state of abundance, something that gives you that feeling of elevation? Something little that I would do when I was not a well-off person, if I was trying to uplift my day, my mood, my aura, and I was wanting to walk around feeling like a wealthy and sophisticated woman, I would go into a gas station to buy some water, but instead of buying the off-brand water, I would buy a bottle of Fiji water. A bottle of Fiji water is not very expensive. It's like $3 or something like that. But I would buy my Fiji water knowing it was one of the more premium waters on the shelf, and I would go walk around with that water at a park or at other stores while window shopping, and just simply holding that elevated bottle of water made me feel so abundant and so wealthy and so luxurious. And that changed the energy I had within me. And I would do things like that consistently. And I truly believe that doing that is the reason why I had certain opportunities and why I had certain successes. So every now and then, go treat yourself to an overpriced Starbucks drink instead of making coffee at home. Go find the nicest shopping center in your area, regardless if you can afford anything there or not, and just go walk around. Be around those nicer things and be around the type of people who already shop there, and walk around like you're one of them. They're not going to know. Maybe you don't have a shopping bag in your hand because just nothing caught your eye that day. If you are in a place where you can treat yourself to going and getting a massage or getting a facial, book it and be truly present in the moment, soaking in what a privilege it is to be able to do that. Go walk into a designer store and ask to look at something. Again, regardless if you can buy it or not, just being around those nice things elevates your energy. A tip for you there, though, if you're going to go walk into a luxury designer store and you've never been in one, just a little heads up, I'm going to share my story of the first time I ever went into a designer store. So I was actually vacationing in Las Vegas before I ever moved here. And I really liked these designer items. I had always been drawn to them, but I didn't own any because at the time I was not in a place where it made practical sense for me to purchase those things. But I decided I wanted to embody the version of me who already had those things and go in and look around, right? It was a way of meeting myself in the middle. Like, could I practically afford them at the time? No. But somewhere between that version of me and the version of me that had those things was a version of me who went into the store to look at them. So I decided to walk into a Cartier, and I don't know what I was expecting. I guess I was expecting it to kind of be like Target, where you walk in and they're like, hi, and you're like, hi, and then you go shop. Well, it's a bit more elevated than that. So I walk in, and immediately this very friendly sales associate comes over and is like, hello, how are you? What can I help you find today? And I was like, oh, I was not expecting anyone to talk to me. Um, I'm fine, thanks. I'm just looking. And he's like, okay, great. Let me know if there's anything you'd like to see. And I was like, okay. And so he kind of like left me alone, and I was browsing and looking at all this beautiful jewelry and just envisioning in my head one day being able to wear this stuff just casually. And then he comes over and he's like, is there any particular piece of jewelry that you would like to see or that you would like to try on? You can try on anything you want. And I was like, oh, well, I do like the love line, like the love bracelet, which by the way is a $10,000 bracelet that they lock like with a screwdriver onto your wrist. And he's like, oh yeah, we have that right over here. Come on over. And I was like, oh, like I could feel my heart pounding because at the time I felt like kind of an imposter because I knew I didn't have the money for that bracelet. But the thing is, nobody else knew that. For all he knew, I am a multi billionaire and I just don't like the bracelet that much. So, anyway, I go over and he puts it on my wrist and it is beautiful. And I am so uncomfortable because I have $10,000 locked onto my wrist right now, and I had never experienced anything like that before. So I kind of looked at it and I was like, oh, it's beautiful, thank you, but I don't think I'm going to get it today. And he was like, of course, no problem. He took it off and he put it down and he's like, feel free to browse the store and let me know if you need anything else or if you want to try anything else on. And I was like, okay, thank you. And I booked it out of there. I was just not ready for that type of experience and that type of service and in general that type of bouginess. I just didn't know what to expect. So just a heads up, the sales associates in those type of stores will come up to you, they will talk to you, they do not pressure you at all. There is no pressure to buy anything, and they are more than happy to take items down for you to be able to look at and try on, etc. But that experience had me thinking, I would not ever walk into a Target, try on a pair of shoes, decide I don't like them, put them back, and feel bad about it. That's just like a normal thing you do. So, why is it any different in these luxury designer stores? And I think it's because we have a bit of a worthiness issue. Like, we are not worthy of this item, or we are not worthy enough to even try it on, or to even look at it, or to even be in that store. And that's the inner work we have to do. Is if there is something that you want, or somewhere you want to be, or an experience you want to have, and you don't feel like it's meant for you, that is all the more reason to go and try and experience those things. Okay, anyway, that was my side story. So you can still do things to embody this wealthy version of you while still being practically responsible. More than likely, buying a $3 bottle of Fiji water is not going to make or break you that month. But if doing that little thing helps elevate your overall mood, by all means, go for it. And things like window shopping in nice areas or just going for walks in nice parks or nice neighborhoods in the rich part of town, that's free. Go surround yourself with people like that. You are deserving of walking around in a safe neighborhood. You are deserving of being in nice stores. You are deserving of being around wealthy, successful people. And I think a lot of times it comes down to giving ourselves permission. But doing those things, being around those things, puts yourself in an energetic state of abundance. And the law of attraction says like attracts like. So if you are in a positive vibration and energetic state of abundance, you are going to attract more things like that. And start paying attention. You will start to notice that things start to shift for you. The more you practice those things, the more random things are going to happen. Like, you get a raise, or you get a promotion, or you get a random check in the mail, or somebody gifts you something that you were going to buy anyway, and now you don't need to spend the money on that. Random refunds, people treating you for lunch, like the list goes on, and those things all start to happen from simply shifting your mindset and shifting your energy into a more abundant state. And my last piece of advice for you for now on the topic of manifesting more money is to start asking yourself questions as if you are already that wealthy, successful, abundant version of you. So before you make any type of decision, before you do certain things, ask, would the wealthy version of me do this? Would the abundant version of me do this? Or what would they do in this scenario? So when I was first practicing this, one thing for me is I have a black car, so it gets very dusty and you can see it. Would the best version of me, would the most abundant version of me, would the wealthiest version of me drive around with a dirty car? No, she would not. So I am going to go run my car through the car wash. Would the most abundant, luxurious version of me walk around with wrinkly clothes? Nope. She would take a minute to iron her clothes or throw them in the dryer so that way they looked nice when she was wearing them and she looked presentable and felt confident in her physical appearance. And I also did the practical things too, right? Like I had a job, I had a financial advising business, and I just left my firm about 6 months ago. I just was not feeling aligned with that firm anymore, and I wanted to branch off and start my own business. But even taking a look at that business, for example, the amount of work I did versus the success I had made no sense. Other advisors were working and working and working and making phone call after phone call after phone call and hustle and hustle and hustle. And I was doing that at first and I really wasn't getting anywhere. And then I decided to change my approach and focus on my energy and my mindset and my belief system. And so while they were hustle, 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 I was like, okay, well, I'm going to wake up early in the morning and journal my intentions for the day, journal what I'm calling in. And I would write things down like clients find me easily and effortlessly. And my richest clients, my multi-million dollar clients, want to refer all their very wealthy friends and family to me. So I don't even have to go out and find them. They just simply come to me. And people who are 3 times my age are going to trust me with their life savings to manage their family's wealth. I would just write all these things down and then go into the office, and literally all those things would happen where I wasn't even having to do much anymore. The clients were coming to me, the money was coming to me, everything was fully coming to me because I was in an energetic state to attract those things. And really, it's like that in any area of life. And especially with money, it's like that whether you, like I said, have a job, run your own business, or don't work at all. So I really encourage you to try these things out. Number one, take a look at your belief systems, things that you learned to be true when you were a kid, whether it's things your parents said or teachers said or family friends said. If there is a money belief that is not serving you right now, take a look at it and ask yourself, why is this ultimately not true? Rewire it to a more helpful belief. Number two, do things that put you in the energy of being abundant. And number three, ask yourself questions as if you already were that wealthy, abundant person who had all the money that you needed, that you wanted to be able to do the things that you want to do. Start doing those things, start doing them consistently, and start to notice what shifts happen for you. Powerful shifts really do happen when you decide that things get to be better for you. So try it out. Let me know what results you get. If you haven't done so already, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below. If you find my content helpful and enjoyable, let me know what other types of videos you'd like to see in the manifestation series. I am going to do one on finding the love of your life. I'm going to do one on the science of manifestation, and I already have a few others in mind, but if there's anything specific that you would like to see, please let me know in the comments down below. Have a fabulous rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.